Okay, I've been seeing some interesting comments on a number of my posts and videos in relation to the discussion that took place outside of Zach's house at the ending of last week's episode. And some people were asking the question, Jeremy, did you see how, emotional and at some moments it almost looked like Zach was tearing up? Um, it's hard to even call it a conversation with how many times Karen kept interrupting and telling Zach to shut up. But some people are asking the question, like, does Zach still love Karen and yada yada? And look, Zach keeps saying the one thing I wish he would stop saying. Karen, I do love you, but no, I'm in love with Fatima. I wish he would just stop saying that. The part about still loving her. It's just like, the one time you said it when you were like, I love Karen, but I'm in love with Fatima, or, I think he told Danny, I got love for Karen, but I'm in love with Fatima now. So it's like, just the phrasing is just one of those things where you're giving her hope. But let's keep it completely, honest here. Karen is so far gone at this point, even if Zach said, I don't love you no more, which he did. Remember at Danny's place, it was like, Karen, I don't love you no more. I don't want to see you no more. It's over. Then he walked out. She wouldn't believe it. So even if he said everything that as fans we would have written into the script for him to say, it would not matter. This chick would still be popping up. But going back to the main question of, does he still love her and all? And, well, not that part, because I just said that part, but him looking teary-eyed and whatnot. As I said in the video where I broke the scene down, like, every time in isolation, not in the same night or even a day after I watched the episode, but when I've had time to, extract the scene from the episode, break it down frame by frame, Ebony and DeVal, they still got it in terms of their on-screen chemistry based on their acting, where these two really show their acting chops in these scenes. Yes, Karen was aggravating to watch in the scene, but Ebony's performance is what made it shine. And if you're a person who knows like the early seasons of the show, like, season 1 as well as season 2, you can see why Zach isn't the same Zach anymore. When he's being chastised and Karen's being condescending, the Zach we saw after he got the stock win and was wearing the suits and whatnot, that Zach wasn't in full control, because based on the look in Zach's eyes and him still allowing Karen to kind of talk to him the same way she would in like season 1, it's just like, okay, I don't want to use child abuse, but maybe I'll get back to that subject. But there was a comic that came out, I think it was, what was it, last year or late 2020, but it was called Three Jokers. If you're a DC comic or a Batman fan, you know what I'm talking about here. And in the story, Batman, not Bruce Wayne, but Batman, well, Bruce Wayne when he was a kid, but Batman, he had to go visit Joe Chill in jail. And when he went there, because most people know Batman as, he's the strategic one, he has contingency plans, he's, emotionless for the most part. But when he spoke with Joe Chill, there was a moment where he couldn't even get his words out. So he was like, because inside he's still that hurt little boy. How old was he? Like 8 years old when his parents were shot and killed in front of him. And in that continuity was Joe Chill. So basically, as a full-grown adult, member of the Justice League, fought monsters and aliens and crap, when he encountered the man who murdered his parents as a child, when he was a child, and he's lived with that trauma since then, he still buckled. His knees kind of buckled when he first encountered him. I feel the same about different situations like abuse, for example. Like, let's say if it was a family member, ex-lover or whatever the case may be, that abused you, whether it was emotionally or physically, even if it was years that had passed, I'd say there would still be some sort of like nervous feelings or hesitation to be in the same location as them. And that's not to say, oh, Karen did this to Zach, Karen did that. No, but what I'm saying is different levels of trauma and pain can bring about different emotions. And the thing about Karen is the fact that for those 3 years, she knows how to press Zach's buttons. And it goes back to, his childhood. And remember, in Zatima season 2, we're supposed to meet Zach's mother, who is a former addict and prostitute, and she wants a reconciliation meeting, but it's probably just her using a sob story and playing on Zach's feelings to get some money, and then she's going to split. And remember, Zach said, his women issues stem from his childhood and his family. His mom left him, and his grandma, aunties, all the other women in his life would always talk down to him and whatnot. And then Karen at first seemed like a saving grace, almost like a Fatima in a sense, but it got to the point where she just knew how to talk down to him too. And the thing about it is, I can kind of relate to this in some ways, different situation, but similar story, where if like one person talks down to me or kind of raises their voice, I revert back to that child that would get yelled at as a kid. Or my biggest pet peeve is like, don't be condescending or make me look dumb or make me feel like a child in front of other people. Like, that's my biggest like trigger to like trauma. And I'm not saying I'll be a Will Smith and like slap somebody, and no, I'm not trying to make light of that situation either, but I get it. And with Karen, again, with 3 years, she knows what to say to kind of tear Zach down. But at the same time, it isn't just Karen who's verbally abusing Zach. Like, to Zach, when Karen does that, that goes back to his grandmother, his aunt, possibly past girlfriends. But I will say, thanks to Fatima somewhat, building Zach into the new person he is now, he is more resilient. That doesn't mean he's rock solid where there could be no cracks formed in his like structure, but the way he was like, still able to say like, I love Fatima, she's my woman. Because yes, there were moments where it seemed like he was hesitant to even say certain things because he knew they weren't what Karen wanted to hear, because he's so used to being shot down with any thought that comes out of his mouth. And yes, the scene just showed Karen is still the same person. She talks down to Zach. She tears him down. Basically, the bricks and the, structure that Fatima helped to build by her affirmations and positivity, Karen was beginning to deconstruct that. That doesn't mean she would have succeeded, but at the same time, we could see that she was making some progress in that. So it just goes to show you that, yes, in some ways, Karen still knows how to talk to Zach in a way that would, make him revert back to that broken child he was when his mother left. And another thing, of course, was the fact that we saw how strong Zach was compared to season 1. And when I say so strong, yet again, that doesn't mean he's invincible, but he's a stronger man than he was back then. The fact that he was adamant on not letting Karen go into the house, and that he didn't back down from saying that Fatima's my woman and you need to stop. And the fact that, she tried to like beg, I don't want to do this alone, and yada, yada, yada. And I mean, Zach never said you did. He just said that, if it is my kid, I'll do what's right by the child, but just know we're not getting back together. It's the fact that she doesn't want to accept that. And I'll probably do a separate video, because some people are saying that, well, if Karen didn't kick Zach to the curb, then she would be where Fatima is. And I doubt that for several reasons based on this scene from last week's episode. But yeah, just to let you know, the reason Zach looked like he was emotional, like he was kind of faltering in the conversation with Karen, I think it just goes back to Karen knowing how to push his buttons, but not knowing how to exactly get him back, because he's moved on. I mean, last season, he literally told you the moment he knew he couldn't go back was when you got, him arrested and put in jail. So there we go. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. And I will catch you in the next one.